Hello, Monday. I hope everybody is having a good start to their week. This is probably going to be like rambling, so I apologize in advance. My brain is going 1,000 directions. I'm literally telling you that I have 6 videos in the process of making, and every time VJ goes live, something will be brought up, and I will go to that video and start adding to it, and then something else will be said somewhere, and I get like, my ADD is all over the place. So I'm trying really hard to get these timelines done, but then at the same time, I'm really wanting to get the video done of the cats and the video of all of the bigotry that comes from her channel. So I'm like so torn trying to get all of it done, and I'm having trouble focusing. So this fundraiser is insane to me. Insane. If you read my community post, you've already heard this, but BJ, I have always said, and a lot of people have always said, that she was a mini Natasha Cooper. Like, she picks up things that Natasha used to do and uses it for her money begging. The same tactics. So if you weren't around for Natasha Cooper days, Natasha fit the exact definition of a grifter. She collected money for things that she then didn't use the money for. And the amount of fundraisers that she had, you would not believe. So one of her first major fundraisers was called a legal defense fund. And what she did was she had a lot of people exposing her for how she was taking advantage of people for their money. She would go on and trash people, dox people, and just different ways of manipulating people out of their money for it. Pretty much like BJ does. So she had channels that were going at her, exposing her, much in the same way that BJ has right now. And so Natasha came out with this $20,000 fundraiser through a PayPal pool. And what she told the community was she is going to stop all of the hate, all of the fighting, all of the harassment. So she started this fund, and she gave very little detail about it. She wouldn't really say exactly what she was doing legally. She wouldn't exactly say who the attorney was. And then she started saying it was more than one attorney. And then she started saying the attorneys were watching her live streams. It was unreal. And to a lot of people's surprise, she actually raised $20,000. It's unreal. And so once she had the 20,000, people, here and there would ask, how are things coming? Is anything happening? She would say, the attorneys are working on it. There's a lot to it, blah, blah, blah. Till eventually it just stopped being mentioned. The channels that were calling her out would mention it, but as far as her people asking her about it, it just kind of faded away. And once she realized she could do PayPal pools and raise large amounts of money, suddenly that became a common thing. At the beginning of every stream, she would announce her fund, and usually it was $500 to $1,000. And the names of the funds would be like the Kiss My Grits Fund, the Piss Off the Haters Fund, just stuff like that. She was big on using the same tactic that BJ's using, the whole, oh, they get so mad whenever y'all donate to me, and there's going to be some angry posting tonight because we filled my fund so quick. And I mean, she would literally fill the $500 or $1,000 funds in one day, over and over and over. It was unreal. And then the next fund came, and it was a $10,000 fund. And this was after she had lost her YouTube channel. She had been terminated there, and I think she got terminated on Twitch too. So the next one was she needed $10,000, and she was going to have someone professional develop this professional website so that she didn't have to depend on a social media platform to put out her content, but it was going to come straight from this webpage that was being designed for $10,000. And at this point, it wasn't too surprising when that fund also got filled. And I don't know after that if there was any major ones. She kind of went to TikTok and stayed there for a while and blah, blah, blah. But this legal defense thing that BJ is doing right now is almost a carbon copy of what Natasha did. And if she ends up getting the money that she's asking for, this will become her regular grift, just like it did Natasha. However, Natasha lost her channel because of a lot of that stuff, so she better be careful with it. And the people that are donating to her with this vague description, I'm sorry, I would not do that. I would want proof of what's going on, or at least a little more description. She is being so vague. It is so questionable. I mean, she has said so many contradictory things regarding that. You know, Ivy League flight nurse was going to pay it. I've heard something about Ben paying it. I've heard her say that the payment is already processed and the paper signed and she already has him retained or whatever. Not retained, it's a flat rate. So if the payment's being processed, then the flat rate's paid, right? You don't need more. But then the next stream, she's talking about, oh, we're going to send it this day because we had to wait to make sure we had all our everything in order, whatever. The story just keeps changing, which makes it even more suspicious. But, you know, I don't care. Let her collect money. It doesn't affect me. I feel bad because, again, I see people in her chat saying, I'm sorry, I don't have the money right now. I've got this going on, or I've got this going on. People genuinely apologizing because they can't help her. And the truth is, she does not need help. There is nothing going on that she could not handle on her own by just ignoring it. Seriously. So BJ absolutely could stop all this on her own by ignoring. The people that have been around, we've seen it happen when Granny was going through this. And yes, Granny had someone that would stream her no matter what time of day it was. And she would announce that. I have nothing but time. She said, I can drop everything I'm doing, whether it's 2 a.m, 12 noon, 4 p.m. I can drop everything I'm doing to restream her. And she did every time. And BJ was in those chats cheering it on. I'm so sick of her acting like she's the only one that's experienced this, because no. And the only reason it's gone on this long for BJ is because she keeps it going. She can't turn her back to it. So Granny logged off when it was happening to her. She went on vacation. She spent time with her family. She stopped streaming from her channel. Yes, she would go into chats of different communities or different channels that weren't talking about the drama that she had been experiencing. It was different topics, and she would go in there and talk, but it was few and far between. And it wasn't streaming on her channel about the drama. And it worked. It stopped. And she came back a few months later, and her channel was just as good as it was before, if not better, when she came back, and the drama was gone. You know, I have no type of psychology degree, anything like that. So this is just a personal opinion, but I feel like that BJ is a covert narcissist. And I think that she can't walk away from this because her ego would be so damaged from that. She is very, very concerned with public image, and she 100% gets all of her validation from YouTube, from social media. Without that, she does not feel validated. And I think that if she turned and walked away from this, it would be a big narcissistic injury to her, because she would feel like she lost, and she would feel like the public would view her as lesser of a person. So she can't do that. And BJ has been like this emotional roller coaster for the past years. Like, you never know what you're going to get when she comes on. She's usually always going to start with her Eeyore, woe is me, everything's horrible mood. And then as the donations start coming in, she cheers up. And then she's either going to be in an okay mood to sit up there and laugh and joke and review things. Or if she has someone like Kim, or like in the past, it would have been like Mischief or Irish, Moon, any of those people. If they were in the chat when she started and they were going to come up on panel, she was Billy Badass. That changed it entirely. You know, she was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Whenever she has somebody up there that will do all of the dirty work for her, that will yell and scream and call names and all of that. Because then, you know, she has no concerns about being bullied, because she's got her bodyguards there. You know, I find it interesting that now that she really doesn't have any bulldogs over in her corner, that now she's starting this legal fund, and she is the biggest victim there ever was, because she no longer has people up there fighting her battles. So her demeanor has completely changed. You know, she even at one point had Craig doing the fighting, because he would be back there saying the worst, and she wouldn't say a word. But since she's gotten backlash for the things that he has said, she's kind of stuck now where she feels like she's got nobody that's going to fight for her anymore. So she's got to scare people with legal things, which she should have learned by now, that courts don't operate off of emotions, and they want proof, facts. You know, she can't just go in there and say you know, this is her big thing. And this is something that drives me insane, because she gets on there and she says, they said they're going to put trail cams in my yard. They said they're going to drive past my house. They said, and it's like, who is they? You cannot generalize an entire group of people, because I know in a lot of our chats, there's 1,200, 1,600 people in there. You can't say they. You can't say all 1,600 people were in there saying they're going to put trail cams up. For God's sake, she needs to start telling names or shut up. I just can't. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm just sick of hearing they. But then at the same time, if you look at her and say, well, your panel was talking about Clue's daughter's trauma in this way, and your panel has created this website. Well, no. Don't associate BJ with, she's not them. She'll be sure to say that to you. You know, I am not them. I can't control them. But yet over here, we are all one person, apparently, that we're one big group that all walks together, eats together, sleeps together. I mean, it's like, no, you got to start specifying people, because we are not all doing one thing. We are all individuals with individual minds and individual triggers and individual likes, individual dislikes. We think for ourselves. We're not a cult. You know, that's one of the things about the creators that we have, that we follow. The ones that BJ gets so mad that there's redirects to, which is another thing real quick. BJ is always, I'm so tired of y'all talking about me pushing memberships. YouTube wants you to. YouTube offers it. Hey, BJ, YouTube offers the redirect option. YouTube wants it used. So shut up about it. Okay, us as subscribers over here appreciate it. You want us to quit talking about your asking for memberships? Quit talking about the redirects. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The thing about the creators that we have in our little group, I like it because everybody is so different on how they view things and how they do their streams. I was watching BJ go through the channels to point out how much she's talked about. And when you look at each channel, it's so very different. You know, the way that they do things. If you go into Clues, you're going to get a lot of humor and sarcasm. And, you know, I think that's where some of the comments like the trail cams and the drone and crap, that some of it was even related to her and the rest of it was sarcasm. And she cannot understand that. Now, whether that's purposeful or whether her people are just giving her the little bits and pieces that make it sound nefarious, I don't know. And then you go to Granny's and you may get a stream about current events, something that's going on. You may get a stream about a new case, such as Jack and Lily. You may get talk about Sebastian's case. You may get talk about the lawsuit. And whenever the lawsuit comes about, BJ is going to come up. And I'm going to tell you, all of these people that keep saying, well, there was 10 people that brought this lawsuit. It wasn't just BJ. I don't know why everybody's focusing on BJ. Well, let me tell you why Granny's focusing on BJ, because Granny wouldn't have been put in there if it was not for BJ. BJ had been trying to get a group to go legal on Granny for a while. She was afraid to do it by herself. So she was trying to get a group of people. We saw that with the messages to CJ. And she finally found a group that would do it. And it was convenient for the group because she was in Pennsylvania. So when BJ offered that up, and we've seen that in the messages that Angela has showed, they grabbed that. You know, you think Granny didn't even get a C&D. They weren't interested in Granny until BJ. So yeah, there's a lot of anger from Granny towards BJ because she would not have ever been put in that if not for her. And I am so sorry. If you have ADD, this is probably driving you nuts because I am all over the place. I apologize. So anyway, back to what I was saying. At Granny's, you're going to get probably a variety of things. And during the summer, she doesn't stream as often because she is doing things. She is on vacation. She is out and about. Okay, then you go to Queen Bee's channel, and over there, you're going to get talk about a lot of different things. It is never just BJ. You know, she was going through all the titles of each live stream and saying, oh yeah, this was about me. This was about B. Yeah, there may be 10 minutes of a live stream that Queen does where you're brought up, but it is usually about multiple different people, multiple different things happening. It is, I don't know that I've ever seen just a full BJ live stream on Queen Bee. And you also have different people coming up on panel, different viewpoints. It's a mixture of things. It is like a buffet of different cases, people, opinions. It's very different from the other creators. And then you can go over to Nonsense's channel, and over there, you know that you're going to get facts. You're going to get receipts. You're going to get timelines. You are going to get things that are directly said by BJ or whatever she's covering, because she doesn't just cover BJ. She covers all of these creators that are going at victims and victims' families. So she's covering Smiley, Lolly, all of the green team people that are doing all the BS right now. So you're going to get some of that. You're going to get some of BJ, some of this and that. But anything you get from nonsense is going to be prepared before you go in there. It is going to be in an orderly fashion, and there is going to be a reason for everything she shows and the order that she shows it in. And you know that that's what you're going to get there. And it's amazing. I wish my brain worked like that for real. And then you go to Jay's and you're going to get a little more, like laid back conspiracy theory, laughs, things like that. And now she has her true crime channel where she still does true crime. And then she has, her laid back channel where she reviews BJ, but it is just a different kind of laid back laughing mood there. And then you have, Wispy, who is also a very just laid back, chill, late at night stream where she talks about different people too. It's not always BJ. So all of the creators that we go to, you get something different from them. It is not like we are going and watching the same stream, the same content, the same viewpoints, the same people on every stream. You are going to get usually a different stream because BJ is streaming 2 or 3 times a day. So, and whenever you're actually doing fair use and commentating, it takes a while to get through a stream because you're pausing and you're talking. And depending on which creator you're at, you know, if you're at Nonsense, she's going to stop and pull up a receipt for what she just heard her say. So it'll take a while to cover a stream. If you're on Queen D's and we're watching a stream, there's going to be a pause and there's going to be a sidebar into something else that takes 30 minutes and then back to the stream. So it's not that we're sitting and going through the same stream on every channel. That is not what's happening. I just legitimately can't understand why BJ can't see how she is keeping things going and how hypocritical she is for a lot of the things she's saying. You know, whenever people say to her that she is talking about Clue's daughter's trauma or that she's talking about Queen Bee's kids, and she says, I have never talked about them, never said their names. I've never said a word about them. I was talking about what they did and who she was with, blah, blah, blah. But whenever people say BJ's kids should be in bed, they shouldn't be up at 3 a.m. and she should log off and spend some more time with them. Whenever people say things like that, she wants to jump up and say, people are attacking my children. They're attacking my kids. You can't have it both ways. Okay. If people talking about your parenting means they're talking about your kid, then you talking about other people's parenting is talking about their kid. You can't have it both ways. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if Baby Clue has never been mentioned, brought up, anything. I do not care. Speaking about that man is speaking about the trauma. If anybody has ever been through trauma, hearing that person's name, hearing references to what happened is trauma. And BJ, as a true crime, quote, true crime creator, should understand that and respect that whenever you're talking about and dealing with potential victims of crimes and you are re-victimizing just to get at somebody. It's wrong. And I also want people to remember that there's been problems with BJ before all of this stuff started. There was problems with BJ as a quote true crime creator before Sebastian's case. There were problems with her not researching, her not being prepared for streams, her playing content and not using fair use, her asking for money and talking about her personal issues throughout a stream that is about a missing or murdered person. One of the things that bothered me the most is the whole umbrella thing. She would be talking about a deceased child and have their parent on screen talking, crying. She'll pause it with them on the screen and say, oh my gosh, everybody drop your umbrellas in the chat. They're making it rain, making it rain. Look at all these memberships. How disrespectful. If that was me that she had paused on talking about my child and sitting there gloating over making money off of my child, giddy over it, and saying, make it rain, girl, I would have your channel if that was mine. Because what the hell are you doing? So there was lots of problems with her before the Sebastian case. There were creators reviewing her as a tragedy pimp when it came to the Kylie Rodney case and the Idaho 4 case, where she was digging into these young adults and teenagers' lives and accusing them of things and putting that out there on the internet forever. So this hasn't been just a new thing with BJ. And now that she has spoken on the fact that she views these cases as just money, when she talked about she didn't do Summer Wells because it didn't benefit her, when she talks about Sebastian's case as it being bumping, now her true crime is going to be picked apart even more because she's doing it for the wrong reasons. And I hope that if she is actually trying to put anybody else in litigation, that everyone is aware that her hiding all of her videos or deleting them, all of her streams, that she herself is cutting her income. That is not on anybody else. She knows that people record her streams as she does them. She knows that. A lot of people don't even use the streams from her channel. They use the recordings. So she's not doing anything by hiding those. She keeps saying she's hiding them because she doesn't know what people are going to do. Well, I don't understand that. Unless she's breaking terms of service and she knows it and she's afraid of being reported for it, I don't know why else she would be hiding them. But all she's doing is hurting herself. She's taken herself out of the algorithm and she stopped views on those videos, those streams. So if she tries to tell a court that she has lost income because of people bullying her on YouTube, no, she's done that to herself. There is absolutely no reason that she had to remove all of that content. That's BS. And I don't think that people are trying to destroy her and get her off of YouTube. Now, I know there's one creator that openly says she's trying to do that. Okay, I get it. But the rest of us are not doing that. We are not trying to get her off of YouTube. The whole purpose, part of the whole reason that Nonsense started reviewing her was to try to show her what she is doing to the families of victims and make her think about it and do better. That was the whole purpose. That's what we want from her, to look at what she's doing and saying, think about it, think about how it affects other people and do better. Nobody wants her to be kicked off YouTube or go to another community, start doing something else. If you can't do true crime and be respectful, go do something else in another community, not off YouTube. People aren't trying to destroy her. Like, it is trying to, well, number one, people are defending themselves. And then number two, people are trying to make her understand how she affects other people. But I'm not really sure that she's able to do that. The more that I watch her, the more I think that she is unable to self-reflect at all. It's funny. I have a clip of VJ on her panel talking to Riddler, and this is back during the Idaho 4 case. And this is when BJ had first discovered Clue and had been going into her chat for a couple of months. And they're talking about how Clue is quick-witted and that she knows how to handle trolls in her chat. And I wish BJ could understand that she could do the same. You can tell your mods to block the people that are coming in to spread misinformation or to cause a ruckus, anything like that. Block. Don't acknowledge them. Don't anything. Just block them and keep going. Like, it's not that hard to do. But the problem is BJ looks for those comments. She will go through 100 comments from her own chatters, 100 positive comments or suggestions or praise, and then find the one comment that's from a troll saying something bad, pull that up on the screen and say, see how they're attacking me? Look at this. I can't even do a stream. When all she has to do is keep going, have her mod block it, and just keep talking. Don't acknowledge it. Cover things that aren't drama. Don't bring drama into it. If people review your true crime the next day, don't watch it. Don't have people send you things. She is in control of where she's at right now. And the more that she feeds and pokes, the more it's going to continue. She does not have clean hands to go into litigation with anyone. The things that she has said about Chloe and Cletus, no way. The things that she has said about Queen Bee, no way. The things she has said about Nonsense, no. And she can't go after Granny again because she's already lost that. So I don't know, she lies so easily. And I'm always like, does she just have this really bad memory of what she just said? Or is she just a pathological liar? And whenever she is talking about taking these people to court or whatever, I'm like, do you not remember what you have said? Because other people have given their opinions about you. You have straight out called Cletus a pedo. So, like, there's a little bit of difference there. And then with memberships, people will gift memberships. Like, her own viewers will gift memberships. And then she will complain if they go to people she doesn't recognize. And like, it could be somebody that is in the bushes listening to her and she doesn't recognize the name. But what she does is if she does not immediately recognize your name and you're gifted a membership, she blocks them immediately. And it's like, you don't even know if that's somebody that hasn't been chatting, that's watching from the bushes, or if it's somebody that doesn't like you and you don't even give them a chance. You're just blocking them. And that's also going to lead to less people wanting to gift memberships because they're giving money for nothing. I mean, they're gifting memberships and you're just blocking the people. So it's not really helping your channel grow. It's actually ridiculous. And I don't know about anyone else, but I am sick and tired of hearing BJ talk about, I don't know how to protect my family. What is she talking about? I need to see like receipts or hear where somebody is threatening her kids or threatening to do something to her family or attacking her kids, something, because apparently I've missed all that. I haven't seen any of that happening. And do you not have a man in your house to protect you? I mean, y'all are always talking about how you're strapped and the stand your ground law and gates and cameras and all the stuff. So you should be protected. And the cops are driving by constantly. So you should be protected. And on your Give, Send, Go, when you say your children are cowered in the corner because of the online onslaught of hate, how do they know that? How do they know about that? You have to be telling them. And we know that you tell them somewhat because they come, whenever you get them out of bed to come talk to the internet, they call people haters. So they've obviously been told something and you have let us know their ages. So I'm sorry, but as a mother myself, those kids at that age should know nothing about what is happening on the internet with your channel. They should not know a thing. They should not be scared of anything. They should not be told that there's something to be scared of. I have sat and listened to BJ sit with them in the background coughing and talk about people are trying to get her kids taken from her. People are going at her kids. And I mean, and this is the stuff that she is saying, on her end with her kids in the background. They should never hear that kind of stuff ever. If they are scared, it is because you are unnecessarily speaking about things that are making them scared. And it should not happen. Children should never be brought into adult situations, whether it's domestic, whether it's your work, whether it's social media. They should not be brought into that, especially at their ages. So I'm so sick of hearing that you're scared for your family because they're being attacked. No. You had a CPS call. It affected your children. It's terrible. Shouldn't have happened, but it did. It's not a badge of honor. If we took a poll of how many creators in this community have had CPS called on them, it would be most of them. But most of them don't use it as victim status or content like BJ does. And then I keep listening to BJ say, I'm a grown up. I can talk about what I want to talk about. This is my channel. If I want to do drama, I'm going to do drama. If I want to do drama on my true crime channel, I'm going to do drama on that channel. I can do what I want. I can talk about what I want. Okay. Guess what? So can everybody else. That is not exclusive to BJ. And it kills me. The lack of self-awareness is unreal, is off the charts. Because here she took Granny to court over what she was saying on the internet, on her channel. She is playing victim to what everyone else is saying on their channel and going to their channel and going through every video and showing what they're talking about and that what they're doing is wrong. And then you come back to your channel and say, I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. And that's what you do. You go to your channel and you talk about drama and you talk about people and you poke at people. And then you just, I guess you expect them to just shut up and not respond and not say anything. When actually, and you're sitting over there lying, that's another thing. You tell blatant lies. Like recently, a lie you said that Dark Horse went straight to nonsense after calling CPS and told her all about it, that she had called and blah, 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 blah. No, that didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. I don't know if somebody told you that or you're just confused with your story, but it was a lie. Some nonsense has every right to go live and correct it. And people can come in your chat and say anything. They could come in and say, Clue just robbed the bank and got $20,000 or she got away with it. And you would be like, oh my God, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, it doesn't matter what people say. You just run with it. So yeah, people are going to respond and correct what you're putting out about them because most people have receipts whenever they're putting crap out. You do not. By the way, that was an example. Clue didn't rob anybody. Please don't take that. Another thing I don't know is how BJ is going to go in and complain about things when she doesn't even strike people. You know, she complains and complains about people streaming her and all of this, but she never reports or strikes or does anything about it. So how does that play out and why? You know, I know so many people are tired of the VJ content and I get it. You know, there's days that I don't turn it on because I just need a break from it. At the same time, I understand why the creators are addressing her. And it isn't about money. It is about the lies that BJ is putting out and the content of which she's speaking about these creators in. You know, whenever you are accusing a creator of choking her child, when you're accusing a creator of protecting the man who traumatized her child, when you're accusing someone of being in a criminal enterprise, when you're accusing someone of being a predator of your children because she cut out their voices, these things are not small things that shouldn't be addressed. I understand the responses. I do. And I don't know how we get back to a community focused on crime and current events and cases. And I don't know how we get back there. You know, I have one commenter who is a sub to BJ that is very polite in my comments, but is always talking about, we have to end this. It has to end. And, you know, I see a lot of people that want that and are tired of all the drama, but I don't have an answer for it. I don't. And as long as BJ is on her platform lying about others in such a way, I'm going to continue to play her words and call her out because it is an awareness thing and it is a putting the facts out. Because I have videos where she says something and then 5 minutes later lies about it. And I have it coming from her mouth. People need to see that they cannot trust what she is saying because people are going to her for true crime coverage, or they were, and you can't trust it. And I also don't know how BJ can continue to play the victim whenever she'll have a stream where she is laughing and saying, these people can't take it. I come back at them and they can't handle it. They can't take what they dish out. And I own them. I own these people. And then the next stream, she's crying that she can't come on and stream anymore and she doesn't know what to do and everything's horrible and everybody's picking on her and what's she going to do? You know, she's got to pick a lane. Either you're coming out here to dish it back to people and continue it, or you're tired of it and you're moving on. But this flip-flopping back and forth to, I own you, you people can't take what I dish out. And then the poor pitiful me, like, it makes no sense. It absolutely doesn't. And if you were to take that into court and show a judge that on June 21st, she's over here saying, watching a video of Clue walking down a hill, mocking her and saying that she owns them and that people can't handle what she gives out. And then June 23rd, she's on stream crying that she's a victim and she can't get it to stop. It doesn't make sense. And when you go into a courtroom, it isn't about your emotions. You can sit up there and cry to a judge all you want to, but they want to see black and white proof. So whenever you play them a stream where you're saying all the stuff. And then 2 days later, you're crying over it. And then a day later, you're back to mocking and picking at people. They're going to look at that and say, no, you're not in fear. You are participating. You do not have clean hands. And this is part of what bothers me about this whole always asking for memberships and now asking for legal funds to keep your channel going. I just watched one of your sub for a long time make a comment. Sorry, this upsets me. I'm sorry. Make a comment that they have things going on in their life and they can't donate, but they wish they could. And BJ says, no, don't feel bad. You've supported me more than anything. You've supported me. Don't feel like you have to donate. Don't feel like you have to donate. And then immediately says, thank you to whoever just sent me the Cash App. I really appreciate it. Oh, and Triggered, thank you for that. I cannot. How do you defend that? How does anybody defend that? You literally have a sub of a long time telling you that they're struggling and they feel bad that they can't give you money. You barely finish reading it and you're thanking somebody for a Cash App. Like, you could have waited 5 minutes and then thanked them for the Cash App. Like, it's that kind of thing. It's, I don't know. It makes me believe that she has very little to no empathy. And the last thing, and BJ, I hope one of your mods plays this part for you. I hope they clip this and play this for you. While you're on here talking about how strong you are and that nobody could withstand what you have gone through. Everybody else would have left by now. Nobody else could handle what you're going through and how bad you have it. Think about this. Right now, there is somebody at St. Jude sitting at their child's bedside, holding their hand as they're receiving chemo treatment, battling cancer, battling for their life. That's their child. Somewhere right now, there's a car accident happening with a teenager that just got their license and a parent that's about to get a devastating phone call. Somewhere right now, there's a family member that just found out that their friend self-harmed. Somewhere right now, someone is at a doctor's office and the doctor is telling them that they have stage 4 cancer. Somewhere right now, someone is at a graveyard burying a loved one. This online crap is nothing. You can turn it off. I know you don't. I know that you spend all day watching, looking at clips, talking to your mods. But you can turn it off. YouTube is not everything. It is not your life. Think about how you're spending your time. Do you want this to be the memories that your children have? Do you want this to be how you spend your everyday? Torn up emotionally because of what people on the internet are saying? YouTube is YouTube. And that's all it is. It's a public platform where you speak to the public, you put out public videos for the public to view, criticize, and commentate. You are not going through anything compared to what so many are facing today. Stop being the victim. Stand up, take control of your life, of your channel, and make it what you want it to be. If this is not what you want your channel to be, if you don't want the drama, change it. And with that, I hope everybody has a good week. And I will talk to you soon.